Hello friends, welcome to Forensic Medicine by Dr. Paris, and now we are going to talk about chapter number 8, that is sexual offense. So we have classified our sexual offenses into different categories. We can see here, right, number 1 is natural sexual offense. Sir, any sexual intercourse happening between penis and vagina is called as natural sexual offense. And any sexual intercourse happening between anal canal other than the vagina, we call that as, in simple word, we call that unnatural sexual offense. Other than vagina, can be anal, can be oral, can be anything, can be ear also. It is unnatural sexual offense. Third category, we are having sexual perversions or the paraphilias. The without penetration also person is getting full gratification about the sexual intercourse without the penetration, that is sexual perversions and paraphilias. So these are the three broad categories which we need to discuss right now in this chapter, my dear friends. First, if we talk about the sexual perversions, natural sexual offense. So there is a peno-vaginal penetration. In the natural sexual offense penetration, guys, remember there is a peno-vaginal penetration, and the definition is 375. 375 is the definition of a rape. Definition of what's a rape? That means against the will of the female. If any sex is happening against the will of the female, we call that as what's a rape, and we'll be defining rape very soon. And the punishment is 376, my dear friends. 376 is punishment for the rape, and examples of sexual offenses would be the rape. In the rape, the against will is there. Incest is between blood relatives. Incest is between blood relative, brother, sister, mother, child, father, daughter. This type of incest would be there. Adultery. Adultery is having sex with the wife of another male. Is not at all banned in India. Why? Because they both are adult. They know what they are doing. Other than that, the husband can give divorce to the wife if he catches the wife having sex with another male, my dear friends. So if I just show you here about the punishment of the rape, 376. So 376 is further divided into A, B, C, D, E. 376, 376, 376, 376, 376. So A, 376A is for when rape victim dies or goes in coma. Rape victim dies or goes in coma, my dear friends. Second is B. B for BV. That means forceful sex. Forceful sex after divorce. C is custodial rape. It's not about the police custody, etc. It's about the person you are catching it, forcefully you are taking somewhere and then you are raping that person. Okay. D is like dog. The dogs come in gang. It is for gang rape. And E is for excess heinous crime. E is for excess heinous crime, my dear friends. So these are different IPCs which are associated with the rape, my dear friends. So now we'll be talking about the next topic, that is what, sir? The unnatural sexual offense. Unnatural sexual offense, as we already discussed, that it is a penis inserted into any other cavity other than your vagina. Other than vagina, if it is going anywhere, that is called as unnatural sexual offense. And unnatural sexual offense can be in the anus, can be mouth, can be ear, can be anywhere beyond imagination, but not at all in the vagina. Now IPC 377 is for unnatural. For the natural sexual offense, which is for like peno-vaginal intercourse, that is your 376. For the unnatural sexual offense, it is 377. It is what, sir? Your 377. Now coming to the sexual perversions, third thing we have to learn right here, sir. Sexual perversion. Sexual perversion is sexual gratification by the abnormal acts. Abnormal acts like using the clothes or the object related to the female, while watching female, walking, by seeing the sandals of the female, by smelling their undergarment. These are some, by rubbing the private parts of the female. These all are coming under the sexual perversion. Pervert people, my dear friends. Now we will be talking about the next topic, that is very important topic, that is rape. So we have learned just now the definition of rape is 375 and punishment of rape is 376. If it is natural means peno-vaginal intercourse is happening, my dear friends. In that also we have learned about the different IPCs. We can revise just here also. 376A, 376B, 376C, 376D, 376E. A for away, she went away, she might be in coma or she died. B is forceful, sex after divorce. After divorce. C is custodial rape. D is gang rape. E is excess heinous crime. So these are some important IPCs you need to remember for the rape, my dear friends. Now what is the definition of rape, which is very, very important. So definition of rape, penis or penis-like object. The definition clearly says penis or penis-like object goes inside the vagina opening or urethral opening or the anal canal or the mouth, anywhere. Penis or penis-like object, even inserting finger, will consider that as rape if it is against the will of the victim, my dear friends. Without consent, without the agreement, never do anything, my dear friends. That will be considered as rape. Not only just in vagina, also in the urethra, also in the anal canal, also in the mouth. If you are putting someone's finger, that is also considered as rape. Now circumstances of the rape, we are against her will, without the permission of the victim. If you are forcefully doing the intercourse, that is considered as rape. Not only intercourse, you are putting your finger inside her mouth, that will be considered as rape, my dear friends. Now, without the consent, she is not agreed, there is no consent, she is denying, don't do this, still you are forcefully doing this, that is also considered as rape. If consent obtained in fear, the victim was in fear. The victim was in fear. She was under heavy mental pressure. She called you for the help, or you made the scenario, you make her afraid, and then you have done the sexual intercourse, and next day when she become fine, she just recalled that what she did wrong, that was wrong, what happened with her, and if she filed a complaint, then also it is considered as rape. If the consent obtained in fear. Now consent taken in fraud, that means you have narrated some other story and you get the thing signed or other thing. Female was unaware about this, that is also considered as what's rape. Or you are offering something to the female and then you are doing the sexual intercourse and then you are denying, that is also considered as rape. It is a fraud, my dear friend. Consent, like you promise some female about the marriage and you are not getting married to a female and you are having a sexual intercourse, that is also considered as what's our fraud, rape. Consent taken under intoxication, that means female was drunk, and in the drunk situation you both had intercourse. Next day when she become normal, she realized that you raped her and she can file a complaint against you. with consent but the age is less than 18 years. We consider less than 18 years of age as a minor age. We consider that age as a minor age, my dear friends. Less than 18-year consent or not consent doesn't matter. We consider that as rape. That is why in Oyo hotel going age is more than 18 years. 18 or more than 18 years. Less than 18 you are not allowed to go inside the Oyo hotels, because that would be considered as rape, because the child is minor. Law believes that less than 18 years of age, the people are not aware about their good or bad. That is why in those all scenarios we consider those circumstances for the rape, my dear friends. What all are those? Let's revise all of them. Against her will, without consent, if consent obtained in fear, consent taken in fraud, consent taken in under intoxication, with consent but the age is less than 18 year, my dear friends. Less than 18 year, my dear friends. Now we consider something important points in the rape. Important points of the rape, my dear friends. Slight touch. Slight touch in the glans penis of the vagina is considered as rape. No matter you have penetrated or not, your glans penis has touched the vagina and then you came back, that is also considered as rape. And victim is always female. Rape victim is always female. Male is never raped. Male can be raped by a male, yes it can be, but if male and female is there, victim is always on a female. Burden of proof always on a male. Mean if the female has said that she was raped by you, you have to prove it by hook or crook. Female can just put allegation and you have to prove. So burden of proof is completely on the male, my dear friends. Victim is always female, my dear friends. Minimum age for giving consent is 18 years. So sexual intercourse is allowed 18. Legally it is allowed 18 plus. 18 plus. 18 plus. 18 or 18 plus. Rape with less than 18 years is called as statutory rape, my dear friends. If the rape is happening with the less than 18 years of the girl, we consider that as statutory rape. Statutory rape. If the boy is less than 18 years, the punishment is given under POCSO Act, my dear friends. That is protection of child against sexual offence. If the boy is less than 18 years, then POCSO Act will be there, and according to that POCSO Act will give the punishment, my dear friends. So juvenile courts are there which will be deciding the punishments. So it is said that less than 7 years, yes. So if I can show you right here, sir, less than 7 years, according to IPC 82, person is not liable for crime. We say 7 to 12 years. According to IPC 83, criminal responsibility depends on the mental maturity. Depends on the mental maturity, my dear friends. And after 12 to 16 years, maximum punishment is 3 years, and 16 to 18 years, that will again be taken care by the POCSO. The maximum punishment at 16 to 18 year, max punishment can be given except death sentence and life imprisonment. If the age is between 16 to 18 years, max punishment can be given, but never death sentence and life imprisonment we can't give to that. This is the criteria we follow right here, sir. Now important IPC in a rape, we have discussed this. So this area, okay, just ignore this. Now my friends, important IPC in rape, if we talk about, we have discussed about 376 A, B, C, D, E, Now there is a death sentence given if the victim dies or goes in coma. AB is death sentence given if the age of victim is less than. AB is death sentence given if the age of victim is less than 12 years. If the rape victim's age is less than 12 years, then death sentence is given, my dear friends, under IPC 376 AB. Then we have read, again I want to revise with all of you, 376A we have learned, AB we have learned, now B, 376C, 376D and E. C, D, E, we have discussed it very well. Now POCSO Act, if we just with the help of this table, we try to read the POCSO Act right now, sir. So let's see what the POCSO Act is. POCSO Act, what is the offense and what is the POCSO Act 2012 and what is the bill which came in 2019. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 things we have to read here. Use of child for the pornographic purpose. The maximum punishment is 5 years, minimum is 5 years according to the bill 2019. Second definition you see here. Use of child for pornographic purpose resulting in penetrative sexual assault. Penetration is now there. Minimum punishment is 10 years and maximum is life imprisonment. We are using a child for pornographic purpose. Then there is a penetrative assault is there. Penetration is also present there. Then the minimum punishment according to the POCSO Act 2012, my dear friends, it is 10 years. And according to the maximum punishment according to the Act 2012, it is life imprisonment. But new bill is there in 2019 which says minimum 10 years in case of child is below 16 years and 20 years maximum life imprisonment we can give. Maximum life imprisonment we can give. And if less than 18-20 years, then 10 years punishment we can give. Third thing, use of child for the pornographic purpose resulted in aggravated penetrative sexual assault. Now there is a sexual assault plus there is a stripping, etc. You are forcing child to go outside. Then there is a not just penetration, there is a assault also. For this the punishment is life imprisonment. According to 2019 bill, minimum 20 years, maximum life imprisonment or death also we can give to this person who is making the child do that. Other than that, use of child for pornographic purpose resulting in just sexual assault is there. Sexual assault is there. The beating part is there. Minimum is 6 years, maximum is 8 years according to POCSO Act 2012. And in 2019, minimum is 3 years, maximum is 5 years. Now the fifth part, use of child for the pornographic purpose resulting in aggravated sexual assault. Aggravated, you are making person, that child to strip, to remove the clothes, going outside, this, that. Now these all comes under the POCSO Act 2012. The punishment minimum is 8 years, maximum 10 years. According to 2019, minimum 5 years, maximum is 7 years. So this is all a summary of a POCSO Act we are having, and the punishment according to the POCSO Act 2012 and 2019, my dear friends. Now let's talk about the next topic, my dear friends. Sexual harassment, my dear friends. The rewards are offered for inappropriate sexual favors without will. This is harassment. So example is showing private parts, making uneven sound, pornography. So these are coming under sexual harassment. For example, a boss is there in office and boss is offering his employee that please you sleep with me or you do this with me, this that to make me happy and I'll give you reward. That is sexual harassment. The rewards are offered for inappropriate sexual favors without will. Without the will of that person, you are just creating such scenarios and circumstances where that person is falling into trap, my dear friends. Now we are having the next thing is sexual assault. Harassment is clear to all of you. Now sexual assault, my dear friends. Act in which person touches another person with the sexual intent without other person consent. Sexual assault. You are touching someone with the sexual intention. Good touch, bad touch. You are touching someone with the bad touch without other person's consent. The consent of other person is absent right there. You are forcefully touching someone, pressing the organs, putting finger, etc. Those all are coming under the sexual assault, my dear friends. So this is the difference between the sexual harassment and the assault. What is harassment? You are offering the reward and getting the things done. And in sexual assault, you will be forcefully touching the person's private body parts, or body also you are touching any part without the consent of the person who is right there. Now coming to the incest, my dear friends. As we already discussed, what is incest? Incest is the sexual relation between the blood relatives. And this incest is not punishable in India. Earlier it was punishable. Now it is not punishable in India, my dear friends. Incest. So what type of incest we are having, sir? Oedipus, Electra and Pharaon. What is Oedipus complex? The sex between mother and son is called as Oedipus. Electra complex, sex between father and daughter. The sex between father and daughter is called as what, sir? Electra complex. Pharaon complex. Pharaon complex is sex between brother and sister. So the sex which is happening between the blood relative, which is not now punishable in India, my dear friends, because in some parts of India, the relatives are also getting married between themselves. That is why, just to respect that, our government has not banned this, not punishable in India. So three types we have studied right now. Sex between mother and son is Oedipus complex. Sex between father and daughter is Electra complex. Sex between brother and sister is Pharaon complex. This is called as Pharaon complex. Now coming to the next, that is adultery. Adultery, if we see, sir, a male having sex with wife of another male. If a male is having sex with wife of another male, this is not punishable in India, but can be a ground for a divorce. Now, sir, why it is not punishable? Why not punishable? Why? It's not punishable because they both are adult. They both are adult. They know what they are doing. So with consent. Second thing is with consent. They are doing. They are doing everything with the consent. That is why they are allowed, my dear friends. And but can be a ground for divorce. Husband, if having problem with wife sleeping with other men, can file divorce. Can file the divorce on this ground. Okay, sir? Now coming to the unnatural sexual offense. Sir, unnatural sexual offense we have read. It is punishable under 377 IPC. What is unnatural? Sir, any sex. What is unnatural? Any sex which is other than vagina. Any penetration, or we can say any penetration other than vagina with or without penis. With or without penis. We consider that as what's an unnatural sexual offense. So what are the types, different types of unnatural sexual offense, my dear friends? First of all, we are having a sexual offense called as sodomy, love or buggery. Sodomy, love or buggery. What is happening here, sir? Penile-anal intercourse is happening. And this can happen between male and male. This can happen between male and male, and this can also happen between male and female. So peno-anal intercourse can be between male and can also be between male and female. Sodomy, love or buggery. Sodomy, love or buggery, my dear friends. Then coming to the next is pedastry. Next can be pedastry. The adult male having sex with male child. Adult male is having sex with male child, my dear friends. Adult male is active, is called as pedast, and child male which is passive is called as catamite. So adult male is active called as pedast, child male is passive called as catamite. Child male which is passive called as catamite. Adult male is active, pedast, child male which is passive is catamite, is called as what's a catamite. So this is pedastry, which is form of sodomy, love or buggery only. This is happening between adult male and the male child. Adult male and the male child. Now sir, medico-legal examination. Medico-legal examination, the medical examination of non-habitual or passive victim. Non-habitual means the child is not in habit. He is just assaulted time to time, not in regular practice. Then pain and tenderness he will be complaining of. That passive child catamite will be complaining of pain and tenderness on the anal cushion, my dear friends. Plus there will be presence of semen on the anal cushion of an accused person. Semen sample also you are going to see. Plus, because anal canal you are opening, anal sphincters you are opening forcefully without the will. So remember, there will be abrasion, there will be laceration, and there will be contusion seen in the perianal region. There will be a laceration, contusion and aberrations you are going to see in the perianal region. This might can result into the tear of anal canal if the victim is not into the regular practice of these kind of assaults. Now habitual passive victim. The person is now habitual. In many parts of the world this kind of crimes are going on, and the babies, the childs are also becoming habitual of all these things. Pain and tenderness typically absent because of continuously assault. The pain and the tenderness is now absent, my dear friends. Peripheral skin becomes thick now. The skin around the anal canal will become thick, and the anal sphincter lags and loose. Easily anything can go inside and come outside. The anal sphincter is lags and loose. Penetration, perianal skin becomes very thick. Perianal skin becomes very thick, my dear friends. So this is a basic difference between the habitual and non-habitual. So non-habitual, yes, pain is there. Non-habitual, yes, presence of semen would be there. Abrasion, laceration, contusion can be seen in the habitual. In the non-habitual you will see this, and habitual you will not see all these features. Now coming, sodomy is a punishable offense or not? Sir, with consent of two adults, it is never punishable. For example, if a male and female want to have the anal sex, they want to have a fantasy, they had a fantasy of having anal sex tonight, so they can have, because they both are agreeing to it. And if both males also want it, they are agreed to it, then that is not at all punishable, my dear friends. But without consent, if you are having the anal sex, my dear friends, without consent, anal sex is punishable. Without consent, it is punishable, my dear friends. With consent, but done with the minor, is again punishable. Minor is a child who is less than 18 years of age. You are doing it with consent, but the minor's age is again less than 18. That is why this is punishable. So three conditions you understand right here. With consent of two adults, it is not at all punishable. Without consent, it is punishable. With consent, but done in the with the minor, is again punishable, my dear friends. Now the second thing is what's a lesbianism or tribadism. Lesbianism or tribadism. What is lesbianism and tribadism, my dear friends? Sex between two females. Now two females are involved in the sex, my dear friends. Obviously penetration is absent, but they both are having sex together. Now active partner is called as butch or dyke. Active partner is called as butch or dyke, and the passive partner is called as feme. Passive partner is called as what, sir? Feme. Passive is feme, my dear friends. So in this also, the question comes whether the lesbianism is punishable or not. Or not. The lesbianism is punishable or not? Yes. Again, with consent. It's not punishable. Without consent, yes, punishable. Then again, if done with minor girl, yes, punishable. So, if female one is more than 18 years, another is less than 18 years, then it is again considered as what, sir? Your punishable. Now, the third thing we have to learn here is buccal coitus or oral sex. Sir, buccal coitus or oral sex is also called as sin of Gomorrah. The buccal coitus or oral sex is also called as what, sir? Sin of Gomorrah. And two type of things are here, sir. One is male to the female, another is female to the male. And if there is a oral stimulus of a penis by female or male to male, it can be female to female, it can be male to male. This is called as what, sir? Fellatio. And if there is a oral stimulus of a vagina by again male or female, it can be anyone. This is called as cunnilingus. This is called as cunnilingus. Now the fourth term is bestiality. Sir, what is bestiality? Having sex with animals. They have different type of fantasy. Having sex with animals, and this is punishable offense, my dear friends. Having sex with animal is not at all allowed. So this is again a punishable offense. This is unnatural sexual offense, punishable under IPC 377. You are punishable under IPC 377, my dear friends. Now, we'll be learning about examination of a rape victim. A very important topic coming in front of you guys, that is examination of rape. So, rape accused versus victim we are talking about now. Rape victim is always whom? Is always female. And rape accused, male more than female. Female, we have just read about lesbianism, etc. Exceptions are there. Female is rape victim. Done, sir? Now, according to 53A CRPC, consent is not required for the examination of rape accused, and minimum level of officer is what, sir? Sub-inspector. Person who is accused of rape, you do not need any kind of consent to examine that person. That is coming under 53A CRPC, Criminal Proceeding Code. On the other hand, rape victim, according to 164A CRPC, consent not required. Consent not required, my dear friends, under 53 to CRPC. Rape victim also need to be examined and must done in the presence of lady sub-inspector. Rape accused, minimum level is sub-inspector, the gender is not given there. But if rape victim is there, she'll also have to get examined under the 53 to CRPC, 53 to CRPC, my dear friends. And for rape accused, 53A CRPC is there. For rape victim, 164A CRPC is there, my dear friends. Now, if we talk about the examination of a rape victim, examination of a rape victim, my dear friends, always done by female doctor. But here in the rape accused can be female or can be male. Can be female, can be male, my dear friends. Sample preserve. What are the sample we are going to preserve in case of the rape accused and the rape victim, my dear friends? Sample preserved in the rape accused would be the clothes, would be the hair, would be saliva, maybe he licked the private part of the female, penile swab, blood stain. Clothes, hair, saliva, penile swab, blood stain. These are the sample we are going to preserve. In the rape accused, clothes, hair, blood and the vaginal swab. Clothes, hair, blood and the vaginal swab we have to preserve. So these are the sample we need to preserve from the rape accused versus the rape victim. Now sir, what are the important tests we will perform in rape accused and the rape victim? First of all, in the rape accused, the important test is Lugol's iodine test. What is important test we are having? Lugol's iodine test. For what it is? It is to check the vaginal epithelial cells. It is to check what, sir? Vaginal epithelial cell. If that swab turns blue, that means the test is positive. On the penis, if epithelial cells are there, on the penis, if vaginal epithelial cells are there, on the Lugol's iodine test, the swab which I am putting, it will turn blue. That means test is positive. And test can be positive up to 4 days. So if someone is asking you till how many days you can perform this test, so my dear friends, your simple answer would be what? Simple answer would be till 4 days we can do Lugol's iodine test. Lugol's iodine test is done for. So Lugol's iodine test is done for the rape accused. Where it is done? It is done on the penis with the help of Lugol's iodine. If the Lugol's iodine swab turns blue, that would confirm that there is the presence of vaginal epithelial cells on the penis, my dear friends. Now coming to the rape victim. Which test is there for the rape victim? For the rape victim, we are having test toluidine blue test. For the micro injuries, my dear friends. Wherever there is a micro injuries, there will be a sperm also deposited right there, sir, because of the penetration, forceful penetration. So it is best least 4 vaginal swabs are taken. 4 vaginal swabs are taken and then they are put under microscope. From there you will extract the sperm. If sperms are present in the micro tears, you will confirm yes, there was a rape which happened and female is saying the true, my dear friends. So these are the 2 important tests we have read right here, sir. Now we will be moving on to the safe kit. Sir, what is the safe kit, which is very important? Now this kit you have to take where the rape has happened or for the examination of rape victim. The safe word stands for S for Sexual Assault Forensic Evidence Kit. Sexual Assault Forensic Evidence Kit. This is safe kit. What does this safe kit contains? Swabs, bag and sheet for evidence collection, sterile urine containers, sterile sample containers, blood collection devices, comb for collecting the hairs, my dear friends, clear glass slide, self-sealing envelopes, nail pick for the scraping debris, documents and forms, labels, sterile water and the saline. Sterile water and the saline we can use here, sir. So again, I would love to repeat for all of you what is considered, what is there in the safe kit, where it is used. The uses of safe kit we use for the sample taking, or you can say evidence taking sample, evidence taking at rape site, rape victim. So what are the things we are having? Swab, bag and sheet for evidence collection, sterile urine containers, sterile sample container, blood collection devices, comb for collecting the hairs, clear glass slide, self-sealing envelopes, nail pick for scraping the debris, then documents and forms, then labels are there to put the labels, which sample you have taken, sterile water and the saline. So this is SAFE kit, which is sexual assault forensic evidence kit, my dear friends. Sexual assault forensic medicine kit, evidence kit. Now trace of evidence. That a trace of evidence left in crime scene such as blood stain, semen, hair, for the blood stain. Trace of evidence, they can be seen on that particular place. What you can see on the crime scene? Blood stains, semen, hair, etc. Now there will be a screening test. For the blood stain, if I write here, sir, blood stain, you have to write here. This is the mark star here. For blood stain, there will be a screening test. So how we are performing a screening test, my dear friends? You will see, number one, screening test for the blood stain which is left on the site of crime. There will be a test based on peroxidase enzyme present in the blood. In blood, there is an enzyme called as peroxidase enzyme. So what test we are having? Number one test for the blood we are having is what's sir? Benzidine test. Benzidine test is of blue color. This is color based test, my dear friend. Benzidine test blue color. So you will see most sensitive test capable of detecting very old stains. Moment you are putting benzethine with peroxidase, you will see the blue color. Benzethine, if I write here, sir, benzethine, yes, benzethine plus peroxidase will give which color? Blue color. This will confirm that there is a blood stain over there. Then phenolphthalein. Phenolphthalein mixed with peroxidase will give you pink color. That will also confirm the blood stains. Then orthotoluidine. Orthotoluidine plus peroxidase will give you green color. My dear friends. These are the screening tests. So what screening test we are having, my dear friends? Remember this phenolphthalein test is also called as Castor-Meyer test. This is also called as Castor-Meyer test, my dear friends. Other than that, we are having what's a luminance test. Confirmatory test we are having. In confirmatory test, we are having what's a spectroscopy, Takayama and Tickman. Before that, there will be one more test if we would love to add it here, sir. So which test we are having? Luminance test. Luminance test. We use the UV light. And it can confirm old stains. It can confirm the old stains, my dear friends. Then coming to the confirmatory test, spectroscopy, Takayama and Tickman, my dear friends. Spectroscopy, Takayama and Tickman's. So Tickman test will see sodium chloride plus acetic acid will give the hemine crystals. These hemine crystals are brown rhomboid in shape. Brown rhomboid in shape or rhomboid in shape. Brown rhomboid like crystal you can see very well right here, sir. This means Tickman test positive. How to perform? Sodium chloride plus acetic acid. They'll give the hemine crystal. These are the hemine crystals you are going to see right here, sir. Coming to the next thing is Takayama test. How to perform the Takayama test? NaOH plus glucose plus pyridine. NaOH, glucose plus pyridine will do what, sir? Will give us hemochromogen. Will give us what, sir? Hemochromogen. Three things. NaOH, glucose, pyridine will give us hemochromogen. What are hemochromogen? It looks like pink feathery crystals are seen. Pink feathery crystals, you can see pink feathery crystals, very well you can see hemochromogens. Pink feathery crystals are seen, this will confirm the test, my dear friends. And for species, we are having the precipitin test. For the species, what we test we are having, sir? These all tests for the blood, and after that for species, we are having the precipitin test, sir. What about the seminal stain, my dear friends? For seminal stain, which test we are having? Very important. For spinal stains, we are having number one is chemical test. In chemical test, we are having Barbie-Rios test. The chemical test we are having right here, sir, is Barbie-Rios test. So, Barbie-Rios test detects the spermine crystals, which are prostatic secretions. The spermine crystals are actually the prostatic secretions which are coming outside from the in the sperm only. With the semen discharges there then. So what is happening? You are mixing picric acid with the sample. The sperm sample is there. You are mixing with the picric acid. You will see there will be a picrate formation takes place, and those picrates looks like a yellow needle-like crystals. These are the yellow needle-like crystals you are going to see. These are the picrate formation. So Barbie-Rios test detect the spermine crystals. Spermine crystals are nothing but the prostatic secretion. Detect the spermine crystals, and spermine crystals are the prostatic secretions. What you will mix picric acid with the samples, when you mix it with the sample, picrate formation take place. The picrate formation is yellow needle crystals. Yellow needle crystal formation will take place. Now coming to the next test is fluorescence test. Fluorescence is to detect the choline crystals. Choline crystals are dark brown rhomboid shaped crystals. Dark brown rhomboid shaped crystals are there. Sometimes they are bluish. Sometimes they are bluish also. Bluish also, my dear friends. Bluish also, sir. Then third one we are having Christmas tree stain. Christmas tree stain. Christmas tree stain is a gold standard investigation. Gold standard investigation, my dear friends. So these are the tests for the seminal stain. What tests we have for the seminal stain? Number one test we are having Barbie-Rios test. Barbie-Rios test, there will be what's are your picrate formation. Then there is a fluorescence test. Fluorescence test, there will be a choline crystals. Then Christmas tree stain would be there. So these are for the semen. Now coming to the enzymatic test, my dear friends. Enzymatic test also we are having. So acid phosphate test. Present in highest concentration the prostatic secretions. If more than 100, this would suggest of a sexual intercourse within 12 hours. If acid phosphate level is more than 100, then it will suggest a sexual intercourse in less than 12 hours. Less than 12 hours. Then creatinine phosphokinase, CPK. CPK can detect both recent and the old seminal stain. CPK can also be used to detect the old and the recent seminal stains, my dear friends. Then we talk about the next topic. The next topic is all about the sexual perversions or the paraphilias. Sexual perversion or the paraphilias, there are the specific features about this. You will see, person obtains sexual gratification by abnormal acts like sadism, sexual pleasure by giving the pain. The first thing is what, sir? Sadism. Here the penetration is absent. In the paraphilias, in the perversion, guys remember, the penetration is absent right here, sir. Penetration is absent. So who is the sadist, my dear friends? The pleasure is by giving the pain. To the opposite partner, they love beating them or giving them pain. They love choking them while having sex. Giving pain, seeing someone suffering will give them pleasure. This type of paraphilia or perversion is called as what's a sadism. Second type is masochism. Masochism, guys, sexual pleasure is by suffering the pain. They love to gain pain. They love to get pain. Assaulted. They love to get assaulted. Hit me hard, baby, hit me while having sex. Or they'll just ask random person to slap them. Getting slapped, getting pain will give them pleasure. This is called as masochism. In this only there is a bondage. Bondage is combination of sadism and masochism in a single person. So bondage is a person who is loving giving pain and taking pain both. Giving pain, taking pain both is called as bondage. That is a mixture of sadism and masochism, my dear friends. So three terms are crystal clear to all of us. Now the next term is what, sir? Your third term, frotteurism. Frotteurism, my dear friends. The person enjoy sexual pleasure by touching private part of the female. Private part of the female, my dear friends. Private part of the female. And this is punishable under IPC 190. IPC 190. Before going further, just want to add something right here in the identification. What about the hair? We just missed the topic, hair. If I say hair, the study of hair is called as what, sir? Trichology. How you will come to know that hair belongs to whom? Animal or it belongs to the humans? How you will come to know? So remember guys, this is what we need to study in the trichology on the crime scene. So what things are there? Male or female hair, you will see how to differentiate. How to differentiate? First thing, how to differentiate? Differentiate male versus female hair. Male versus female hair if we talk about, sir. First thing is bar body. The bar body is seen in female hair and bar body is absent in male hair. Other than that, other thing how you can differentiate male and female, that is by the DNA. Now, how you will come to know the hair belongs to? Yes. Now, second differentiation is differentiation between animal versus human. Now, sir, if I draw like this, two hairs, animal hair, I'll draw like this. Animal hair, you will see bigger medulla. Medulla is big. Medulla, this is medulla. And this is cortex. This is cortex. If medulla is bigger than cortex, then the hair is of animal. Second is human. If I draw the hair again, my dear friends, you will see in the human, the medulla is very small. So if cortex is greater than medulla, then hair is of human. My dear friends. Now we'll come again back to our topic. So we were discussing the paraphilias and the perversion. So fourth would be what, sir? Fetish. Fetish, guys, person enjoys sexual pleasure with the object related to the female. This object can be the undergarment, can be the shoes, heel, belt, clip, lipstick, can be anything which is related to the female. Now coming to the fifth paraphilia, transvestism or eonism. What is transvestism and eonism, my dear friends? Transvestism or eonism, you will see, person enjoys sexual pleasure by wearing the dress of the opposite sex. Male wearing female dress, female wearing male dress. This is called as transvestism or eonism, my dear friends. Sixth term is exhibitionism. Sixth term is what, sir? Exhibitionism. Exhibitionism, we see here, sir. person enjoys sexual pleasure by showing the private parts in the public place. Person enjoys sexual pleasure by showing the private part in the public place. That is purely an offense, and this is punishable under IPC 294. So we are having right here three types of exhibitionism. One is flashing, other is mooning, then there is streaking. Flashing, mooning, streaking. Flashing, person suddenly shows the genitalia. Like flash is there, we just flash something. Flash is a sudden. If suddenly genitalia is shown, then this is called as flashing. If person shows the gluteal region, gluteals, if this is gluteal region, it looks like two moons right here, sir, the mooning. And if person is running naked, this is called as what, sir? Your streaking. So three things you have to revise here. Person suddenly shows the genitalia is called as flashing. Personal shows gluteal. Person is showing gluteal region in the public without consent of other. Now you will say, sir, if I show my gluteal region to my wife, oh, that is your personal thing. Okay, you don't have to mix this. I'm just talking about the public place. Streaking, person running naked, that is also offense. Now, then another paraphilia is voyeurism, cotophilia or peeping tom. Same things are there. Sir, person enjoys sexual pleasure by watching the private act of the female, and they are punishable under 354C. To see someone doing private act, that private act can be bathing, that can be having sex, that can be just sleeping, that can be just sleeping. You're watching someone sleeping from the window without her will, while changing clothes. While changing clothes. So these are the things you need to remember. Now coming to the eighth paraphilia, that is triolism. That is what, sir? Your triolism. What is triolism? Sexual pleasure between three people. Now these people are not getting pleasure with two. They need three partners. At least three partners. This is called as triolism. This is called as triolism. Two partners are not sufficient. We required three partners to have sexual pleasure. This is called as triolism. Triolism, my dear friends. Next is necrophagia. The next is called as what, sir? And this triolism, the sexual pleasure between the three people, they can be female. Three of them can be female. They can be three males. They can be two female. One male. There can be two male. One female. So anything can happen, my dear friends. They will give them pleasure. Necrophagia. Eating dead body will give them pleasure. You understand? Necrophagia, eating dead body will give them pleasure. This is punishable under 297 IPC, my dear friends. And necrophilia, they are similar things. You need to understand. Necrophilia is having sex with the dead body. If you are having sex with the dead body, that is necrophilia. In both of them, IPC 297. 297 IPC you are punishable with. Now 11th paraphilia we are having right here, sir. That is coprophilia. Copro, the person enjoy sexual pleasure by the sight or the smell of the feces. While just looking at the feces and having the smell of the feces, he is getting the equal satisfaction as compared to the sex, my dear friends. How to remember? Copro. Copro is like the crops, and crops are there in the field. And in old age, people go to do the defecation in the fields, and this is how you have to remember the coprophilia. Now coming to the next 12th one is clismaphilia. Clismaphilia, person achieves sexual gratification by taking enema to himself. You know enema, enema is a laxative, and it is given in the anal canal. Perrectal, you can say perrectal is a better word, perrectal. Perrectal, it is given to treat the constipation, but some people love to have it again and again. Person achieves sexual gratification by taking enema to himself or herself also, not just himself, herself also, my dear friends. Then coming to the 13th one is urophilia or undism. Urophilia, the person enjoys sexual pleasure by the sight or the smell of the urine. By the sight, by seeing or having the smell of the urine, they get the sexual pleasure, my dear friends. 14th one is lust murder. Lust murder. Person enjoys sexual pleasure in killing the victim. They just not love to have sex, they love to kill. Killing someone will give them the pleasure. This is called as lust murder, my dear friend. Lust murder. Bobbitt syndrome, male genitalia amputated by a female partner. They love to do that. They first seduce the male and then they would love to cut the penis of the male. This is called as Bobbitt syndrome. Cutting can be with the knife, can be with the axe also, and can be with the teeth also. Now coming to the 16th paraphilia, right here, so masturbation. Masturbation is nothing but shaking of the penis. Sir, punishable if done in public under 294 IPC. What if done in private? What? You will ask, sir, what if done in private? If done in private, is not punishable. If done in private, sir, this is not at all punishable. This is not at all punishable. What are the important terms you need to learn other than this? One is satyriasis. Satyriasis is a sexual desire, excessive sexual desire in the male. If there is an excessive sexual desire in the male, we call that as satyriasis, my dear friends. And if there is an excessive sexual desire in the female, we call as a nymphomanic. Every time you are rushing towards the sex, then if actual sexual desire in the male is there, then it is called as satyriasis. If excess sexual desire in the female, we call that as nymphomania. We call that words are nymphomania. Other is fellatio. Fellatio, oral stimulus of male genitalia. Male genitalia, this can be done by a female, more common than male. Can be anyone, Cunnilingus, oral stimulus of a female genitalia. The oral stimulus of a female genitalia can be also done by male more commonly than the female. They both can do this. Now pedophilia, so sexually attracted towards the children. And you know pederast. Active male having sex with male child, that is catamite. That is again offense, unnatural offense. That is 377 IPC, we are punishable. Now sir, gerontophile. Sexually attracted towards the old people. Gerontophile is a person who is sexually attracted towards the old people. So guys, thank you so much.